Enlightenment and Emptiness. Subhuti said, "How can the Lord say that full enlightenment is hard to win, exceedingly hard to win, when there is no one who can win enlightenment? For, owing to the emptiness of all dharmas, no dharma exists that would be able to win enlightenment. All dharmas are empty. That dharma also, for the saking of which dharma is demonstrated, that dharma does not exist. And also that dharma which would be enlightened in full enlightenment, and that which should be enlightened, and that which would cognize the enlightenment, and that which should cognize it, all these dharmas are empty. In this manner, I am inclined to think that full enlightenment is easy to win, not hard to win." The Lord said, "Because it cannot possibly come about, is full enlightenment hard to win. Because in reality is not there, because it cannot be discriminated, because it has not been fabricated as a false appearance." Shariputra said, "Also, because it is empty, it is hard to win, O Subhuti. For it does not occur to space that it will win full enlightenment. As such, that is, as without own being, should these dharmas be known in enlightenment. For all dharmas are the same as space. And, Subhuti, if full enlightenment were easy to win, then countless bodhisattvas would not turn away from it. But as countless bodhisattvas do turn away from it, therefore one can discern that full enlightenment is hard to win, exceedingly hard to win." Subhuti said, "But Sariputra, does form, etc., turn away from full enlightenment?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Is then the dharma which turns away from full enlightenment other than form, etc.?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Does the suchness of form, etc., turn away?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Is the dharma which turns away from full enlightenment other than the suchness of form, etc.?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Does form, etc., know full enlightenment?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Is the dharma which knows full enlightenment other than form, etc.?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Does the suchness of form, etc., know full enlightenment?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Is the dharma which knows full enlightenment other than the suchness of form, etc.?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti said, "Should form, etc., be known in full enlightenment, or a dharma other than form, etc., or the suchness of form, etc., or a dharma other than the suchness of form, etc.?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Does suchness turn away from full enlightenment?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Is that dharma which turns away from full enlightenment in suchness?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "What then, Shariputra, is this dharma which turns away from full enlightenment, when we consider it as it stands in this nature of dharmas, which is just emptiness, after the manner of taking no stand on any dharma? Or what dharma is that suchness? Is it perhaps suchness which is turned away?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti said, "Since thus, in ultimate truth and as things stand, no dharma can be apprehended as real, what is that dharma which is turned away from full enlightenment?" Shariputra said, "When one adopts the method of considering dharmas in their ultimate reality, which Subhuti the Elder uses in this exposition, then indeed there is no dharma which turns away from full enlightenment. But then, Venerable Subhuti, there is no longer any ground for the distinction of those who have set their hearts on enlightenment into three kinds of persons, as described by the Tathagata, who differ with respect to the vehicle which they have chosen. According to the exposition of the Venerable Subhuti, there should be only one vehicle for those whose hearts are set on enlightenment. that is, the Buddha vehicle, the Bodhisattva vehicle, the great vehicle. Purna said, "First of all, the Venerable Shariputra must ask the Venerable Subhuti the Elder whether he admits even one single kind of being whose heart is set on enlightenment, and who uses either the vehicle of the disciples or that of the Pratyeka Buddhas or the great vehicle." Shariputra said, "Subhuti, do you admit even one single kind of being whose heart is set on enlightenment, and who uses either the vehicle of the disciples or that of the Bodhisattva or the great vehicle?" Subhuti said, "Shariputra, do you see in the suchness of suchness even one single being whose heart is set on enlightenment, that is, as a real entity, be he one who uses the vehicle of the disciples or that of the Pratyeka Buddhas or the great vehicle?" Shariputra said, "Not so, Subhuti. Suchness, first of all, is not apprehended as three kinds. How much less the being whose heart is set on enlightenment?" Subhuti said, "Is then suchness apprehended as one kind even?" Shariputra said, "No, Subhuti." Subhuti asked, "Do you then perhaps see in suchness even one single dharma which would constitute a being whose heart is set on enlightenment?" Shariputra said, "Not so, Subhuti." Subhuti said, "Since thus, in ultimate truth and as things stand, such a dharma which could constitute a being whose heart is set on enlightenment cannot be apprehended, where do you get the idea that this one belongs to the vehicle of the disciples, that one belongs to the vehicle of the Pratyeka Buddhas, that one to the great vehicle? If a bodhisattva who hears this absence of difference, distinction, or differentiation between the three kinds of persons who have set their hearts on enlightenment, insofar as they are encompassed by the same suchness, does not become cowed or stolid in mind, does not turn back, then one should know that he or she will go forth to enlightenment." The Lord said, "Well said, Subhuti. Through the might and sustaining power of the Tathagata have you been inspired to say this." Shariputra said, "To which enlightenment, O Lord, will that bodhisattva go forth?" The Lord said, "To the full and supreme enlightenment."